Ellen, if this turns out to be true, it's like she literally thought about everything that she's done to enrich herself over the last decade and a half and said, you want to know what? I bet you if we go and look at Donald Trump's books, he's at least kind of the way there on some of this stuff, and then tried to use it against him.
Yeah, I listen. If and I've always understood it as if the federal government is opening a criminal investigation on somebody, they already got something.
Of course.
If the feds are announcing they're investigating you criminally, make no mistake, at some point, unless it's truly just a talking point, which you don't see much, they're coming after you with something legit, at least, or partially legit. I can't see that this new DOJ just weaponizing itself exactly like Joe Biden's DOJ did against Laquifa James. I believe that they truly have something, and maybe it's just a gateway something to get into an investigation to uncover obviously bigger things. But it would be a wonderful thing for MAGA, for the United States, for credit being earned back for the DOJ and the judiciary, for Laquifa James to be put in handcuffs by, and led into the Southern District of New York courthouse.
And for
I'm
every
here for
other
it.
big balls, radical leftist, Soros funded DA who thinks they could get into the political arena with Donald Trump would not have enjoyed so much successes throughout the years. Now, listen, everybody does smoke and mirrors, but if you don't do things overwhelming majority wise by the book, like you will go to jail. And this guy's got businesses all over the world. It's not like he's got a couple buildings scattered across the United States. Like, this is one of the biggest building moguls in the history of the planet. And to think with all of his resorts and his hotels and his golf courses and everything else that bears his name, that he ain't doing things right, especially over the course of the past decade that he's been down in the political arena where everything he's got is under the microscope, you need to get your head examined. It's like
Exactly.
billionaires find ways to stay billionaires, but billionaires that really are able to keep their head above water for as many decades, and it is a lot of decades, as Donald Trump does, you got to be doing things the right way. Again, here is Jen Psaki last night having probably one of the most awkward conversations with Letitia James on her show. And I'll just let you guys be the judge.
I mean, there were reports today that the Justice Department has launched a criminal investigation into real estate transactions that you're involved with. I'm not validating that in any way, but I wanted to just ask you if you've received a formal notice of that at this point.
No, not at all. These allegations, Jen, are baseless. They have been discredited, refuted. There was a letter that was prepared by my attorney that was sent to Pam Bondi, the United States Attorney General. And it's unfortunate that President Trump publicly attacked me a few days ago. And as a result of that, he telegraphed to the Department of Justice and to FBI that I should be targeted. You see, this is nothing more than an extension of his revenge, his retribution. And he finally got up to the J's. And so I stand prepared to respond to these baseless attacks with facts. And we look forward, obviously, to further discussions with the Department of Justice or any other individual who leaked this.
Listen, the facts are she's in a world of trouble because
I think so.
She has added and deleted physical assets, including properties, on multiple different tax returns over the years. She's got some funny shit going on with her family, like her dad and her brother, labeling them as, way outside of the gray area. Yeah, husband or significant other or spouse on multiple tax documents and allocations of wealth.
Yeah.
It's not a good situation for her. And listen, I don't know where this is going. You also don't know what kind of a judge this is going to get in front of either. But at the end of the day, the level of hypocrisy within this party right now and the fact that they have invested 20, 30, 40 years of this kind of narrative moving towards progressivism and socialism and Marxism here in the United States with all the weird sexual shit intertwined in it is why they're so off base right now. And Congress has a 20 some odd favorability rating. All the leaders in the party are around, 20%. And then you just see Donald Trump kind of living his best life, getting ready to do the sword dance coming up here in Saudi Arabia soon. So
it's great.
It is. And we're going to leave it at that as we're getting ready to jump in with David Sentner for the first time. But before we do, here's another check-in with one of our partners.
It's an unpleasant truth that 42% of Americans are obese and 79% of Americans are overweight. That's practically 1 in every 2 Americans living day to day with every minute counting down to the end of an unhealthy existence. It's time to change that and make Americans healthy again. You've probably heard about weight loss injections that can help you get back into that right mindset and help curb those cravings so you can focus on what's really important. New Hope Wellness has changed thousands of lives, and maybe it can change yours too. They are American family-owned and operated with the goal of saving lives. With convenient telehealth options, you can speak to a licensed professional from the comfort of your own home, and all products are delivered discreetly to your front door. Visit newhopewellness.com/state and start your journey to a better you. That's newhopewellness.com/state to get your free consultation and $100 off your first order. 1-800-527-2150. Make America healthy again.
All right, joining us next on the show today, this Big Friday edition of the Steak for Breakfast podcast. He is a serial tech entrepreneur joining us for the first time, someone who knows a little bit about cancer culture and making America great again. Mr. David Sentner, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ron. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Glad that we could finally catch up. I actually had the extended time in between when we were supposed to interview earlier this week and now to do a little research, watch a little podcast, and I'll have to be honest with you, I like it.
Well, we're really excited about this podcast. Should I share with you what it's all about?
Well, that's the thing. As I lead in with you today, I want to talk about the experience that you had and your wife had. It's not every day that a billionaire tech entrepreneur just goes and gets canceled because of the money, because of the influence, because of all the power that they wield, plus the work that they do for other people. And there you were in the midst of it. And I kind of want you to, before we even get into any of the topics I want to talk with you about current events wise, give our listenership a little bit of your backstory and where that instance of, cancel culture in its purest form has come and brought you to where you're at today.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm happy to share my story. I've had a really successful tech career. I made some big innovations in the electronic toll collection arena, believe it or not. My wife, that's where I'm from originally. We started school from scratch, and COVID happened. And going to school during COVID was extraordinarily challenging. My wife and I didn't subscribe to all the mandates that were happening with the vaccines and masking and social distancing, and went against the grain, discouraged our teacher community from getting vaccinated, at least waiting until the summertime. And one of the disgruntled teachers leaked a video to the media, which then caught fire, and we were taken to task by the media, literally globally, to the White House, all over the world. We had camera crews stationed outside, all trying to take us down because we were going against the narrative. That was the first time there was a cancellation attempt, and we lost a huge number of our student body. But it did bring our school to the attention of a lot of people who are aligned with us, which was very interesting. Then there's another semi-related cancellation about a year later that had to do with vaccines and the students this time, not the teachers. And then about a year later, completely separately, I was trying to make a $10 million donation to the city of Miami to build and improve a sports dome facility that was across from our school that would be enjoyed by the community at large and, of course, our school during daytime hours, which we can use that park anyway. And out of the blue, the commissioner and a lobbyist were arrested for supposedly prioritizing this project over the interest of a competing project. And they tied the dotted lines back to the Sentners and our interest in the park and some campaign contributions that we made previously to that commissioner. And it was a horrible nightmare. We became the story, even though we were never accused of anything. We were technically witnesses for the prosecution.
Sure.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, all charges were dropped. Never even went to trial or anything. But there was massive damage. They tried to take us out. It was very malicious and intentional. Ironically and coincidentally, I own a company called Erase.com, which has to do with improving people's reputations online. And we have many different tactics. One of the issues of being canceled is when you feel like you don't have a voice, you have no mouthpiece. And we my wife and I were in the same position. So we decided, let's create a podcast about cancel culture